I mulled because even though that hand was very much playable, I was hoping to hit one of the BT11 Vimons, seeing as I still run 10 copies. And yeah, just me trying to set up the win-loss thing. Because I had played a couple other games, and I do this because, as you can see, I didn't draw very well. But I was like, okay, this is like kind of okay. They specifically would have to be running Charis as a form of protection, which I have seen a decent number of people doing as a way to deal with opponents running option cards. You might also see some people running red card because it's a two-cost way to give yourself option immunity in addition to the Digimon immunity. But you would still be affected by um, tamers, of course. So this is quite a bit sped up. Oh, I actually do have the ability to pause this. I'm an idiot. Um, but yeah, I just play this down because we got Galactic in the area. Like, I got nothing to lose, buddy. Right? And they also don't have that many cards in hand, so I wasn't really too concerned about them getting to their reboot mon and becoming immune. They do get to filter a little here though. And they put I believe they put Charismon under the yellow green card. I am blanking on the name. At the end of their turn because I would be forced to hit it off of Ragnarok Cannon if I have another one. And if I move out, it'll protect them one time. I want to get rid of the bigger body though, because it has an effect I'm more concerned about. So play this down, pitch that, swing at the body. They protect, which again, if you're unfamiliar with Galactic, the way the option card works is it attempts to delete something, and if it fails to delete, it doesn't matter how it fails to delete, it will trash security. So if you use a protection effect against it, you can win the game. This is something that came up when I mean, it comes up all the time, right? But it came up when I was playing against oh boy, what is it? I was playing against Ex Machina, right? So I got to swing out. I hit them with the effect, and the sequence of how I engage with them forced their DP to be lower than mine. Because I think I was like 20k, and I like forced out two of their protection, so they went down to 19 or something. Or was it less than that? I don't remember. But yeah, they were smaller than me either way because I had two of the Digitama under it. This was at locals, so that was just a thing. Relatively quick game. I think I put one question mark. Yeah. Uh, just because I was in a really weird position, but it just happened to work out. I do believe I end up moving that around. I'm okay with this hand because we go first to Evo in the back, and worst case scenario, we get to search something off of this, which is pretty cool. We get a little bit of setup. I've also seen some people try to cut the Snatchmon, the newer one from BT21, and I don't even know what that misclick was about. But yeah, I've seen some people try to cut that card, and I don't totally understand. Like, maybe they don't want to mill themselves, maybe it's a space issue, and I can understand that for sure. Cutting it down to like 3 copies or something, maybe to run another tamer, depending on what your tamer ratios are, does make sense. And yeah, my intent there was okay. I'm playing against angels. I would rather not have more bodies. But yeah, I just I don't totally understand because I think in a lot of situations I would prefer to hold the unsuspend Snatchmon in my hand or pitch it potentially off of the Xeno or something and go from there. So this I add a question mark because I don't think I was necessarily guaranteed to win the game here or anything like that, since that's just the one cost option. It will mill me, sure. It'll let me play something off the top. I do have, a number of galactics that would potentially let me do something here, but there was no guarantee that the Angels deck wasn't going to see more pieces. It wasn't going to play out more bodies and all that. I don't know what they had in hand, so maybe they just didn't have anything they felt like was worth it. Uh, so I'm not gonna question it too heavily. But yeah, I was just like, oh, that's a bit unfortunate. I would have preferred to play it out just to see how it would go. And then we wait a bit, making some adjustments. Probably could have cut out some of this. All right. This hand is fine. I think it's like not perfect, and I always expect this to happen when I keep the searcher and I evo into it. I immediately draw the 11, but it's fine because I realistically want to get at least 2 Digitama into rotation anyway, so I can hit 20k because it matters for a lot of different things. And of course, we pitched that. We pitched the one we just drew into because having it in trash for this specific Snatchmon can be relevant. I opt not to because if they commit, they have to give me more memory. This works out. I pitched that Destro because having the attack negation in rotation, if I'm slotting things under, matters. Also, I could Digivolve directly into it potentially. I am swinging here in this because I was very confused as to what I was playing against. Anytime I see Koromon, I'm like, okay, this can be a wide variety of decks. It might actually be a Greymon thing. It might not be. This game, I win, but there's a lot of goofy shit here. I don't remember if I whiffed my. No, I think I milled one of my Zeniths, and then I ended up not getting the card back when it's really important to have in this matchup, especially if the opponent's not swinging at you. I don't know if my opponent misplayed later in the game or if that was the only tool they had access to, but they put me in a situation where I was able to pass turn after making a pretty critical misplay. So we'll talk about that when we get there. Go to 4, try to do something. Again, had the same thing happen where we finally see the piece, and I'm just like, okay, fine, whatever. Right? We can go to 5 potentially. We're low on cards in hand, but we can make do. Again, even though I could pitch, it's like I don't think I have a reason to, because if they're gonna gain a memory, then I'm forcing them into a situation where they have to commit more. Either they need to play something down or pass me turn or something, and just let me go to 3 anyway. I mean, I did have the setter, so yeah. Putting Kyrie down does make sense because if I have to burn them or whatever, or chip them even, that can screw up my plays. So here, we search first, which is fine. We get some Vimbon under. Uh, that was unfortunate. I did try to hit, I think specifically because I wanted to go into Destro and pop both. And then I shove one to Digivolve from trash into the protected Galactic. So this card, I think, largely makes the matchup here kind of like in your favor, but you also do want to be running the BT18 Zenith, the one that lets you bot deck some sources when you attack to de-digivolve, because you can do that regardless. Like, even if they don't have a target, you can still do that just to put stuff back into your deck. Of course, they will try to inhibit you from attacking, but because of how slow a pot can be, you can also kind of just get multiple instances of Galactic on board. And sometimes you can avoid giving yourself protection because then your opponent may be inclined to devolve you, which is more beneficial because you can, like, recover pieces. So, yeah, it's worthwhile, but things can sometimes end up a little awkward. Usually they'll go into a pock that mills you when they can guarantee that you're gonna lose the game, and they did put me in a pretty bad position, but they couldn't like fully mill me out, which is the unfortunate thing on their end. which I'm spoiling that, but hey. Right, so we bought deck 2 just because I'm like, this is going to matter in this matchup. I can't suspend unless I digivolve, but it's fine. Um, go into this. And I think realistically here, I probably could have just sat and not done anything. I could have like tried to wait, but I also was like, I'd rather get rid of their security and force them into this like I have to keep healing loop, if at all possible. And maybe doing, I mean, I did that partially to choke them, right? But maybe doing that wasn't the better play. Because they can just get that card back. That's one thing that's a little annoying about this particular matchup. Where you every time you delete that thing, they can get it back off of the security effect because the security effects play from hand or trash, which absolutely Dark Masters needs for the consistency. But yeah, they drop down the Apoc here. Apoc plays something out because it copies the bear. And I basically don't have a choice, kind of, sort of. I definitely could have gone into the other one, but it's still just it would have popped the thing and it would have gone to security, and then I would get blocked by the Apoc one way or the other. So it's like I kind of need to kill it anyway. So it just like they were in a somewhat advantaged position. Realistically, I just needed to have the Zenith to unsuspend, and I would have been good because I could have just had the immunity beforehand. This mod for DCGO also makes it so I have to press the Alt key to see the number of cards in various different zones. So I think I pressed it at the end of my opponent's turn, and I saw the 3, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm good. But then I digivolved, so I was only at 2, right? Or I drew for turn or something, so I was only at 2. And then I just decked myself out because I'm a clown. So that was kind of the thing I was referring to. I just put that in the sources because I'm like, bro, I can't get this back right now. Like, I'm cooked. The game froze a little bit here as I was doing this. Don't know why. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I'm basically saying the same thing. This happens a couple of times in this particular matchup. I've also had this happen before, which I'm a little thrown off by. But yeah, like I decked myself here, and I don't know if they just didn't have another option, right? Because they tossed this down. They attempt to bounce it, and it's the wrong one to be hitting with this. So I was gonna bot deck 4, which meant that, well, I wasn't gonna win because I bot deck 4, but I was going to win anyway in this instance because they couldn't deny me 2 swings. If the bear blocks me, it doesn't die, depending on my swing order, right? And then they just they just lose the game. Oh yeah, before I load into the next game, or we get into the next game replay, I do want to make it clear the Dark Masters matchup was very much losable, right? Just because you have a favorite matchup does not mean you're gonna win it all the time. Also, the build I was on was only on one of the BT-18 Zenith. I thought it was on two. So initially I was like, oh damn, one's in my security, but then I double checked the list and I was like, oh no, I'm on a 4th copy of Xeno. So I'm a clown. So that's on me. Or even I was running 4 copies of the Memory Setter Zenith, but that's a card that I really don't want to cut, so very funny. I'm a dumbass. I'm just gonna put this in here, right? So I paused the like actual playback, but I didn't pause the recording. I'm gonna cut that out, obviously. Like no waiting time. But Lord, I actually like this opener. So part of the reason I run 4 copies of Zenith, and I know I've said this a couple of different times, is just because I really prefer the opener where I Evo BT11 Vim in the back. I play Zenith down because it's really beneficial to have it in a lot of different matchups. I think I get cooked here though. Maybe I'm misremembering. I could have sworn I got cooked here. We'll see. Whipping on the Zenith is really frustrating, especially when you see it early like that. You're like, damn. If this was in a, like, Snatchmon BG21 search, I'll be good. That unfortunately did mill 2 EX11 Destros. I'm on 4 for this build. But we can just digivolve into it thanks to Fusion Eyes, so. Pitch the requisite piece. You do a little tapping. Find another copy, shove more sources under Destro. Evo into this to shove more. Play this from trash. They get to spit something out. Evo in the back. I thought about this for a bit, and I think Sorry, I muted myself accidentally because I wasn't paying attention to what my last click thing was. Yeah, I played that specifically because I wanted another card in my trash. Because I think I was only at like 4 total, so I wanted to make sure there was a 5th one in there. And just in case I didn't want to resolve Xeno for some reason. Plus it was free since I have a Snatchmon on board, so I'm like, okay, cool. And then I believe, yeah, I Evo to the immunity Galactic instead of popping their body, since I can kind of disable it anyway. Yeah. Okay, I remember why I lose this game now. It's actually really funny. I made a really stupid play. Funny to me, at least. Okay, so here's where I fuck up, right? So the correct thing to, whoops, the correct thing to do there was negate the attack. Because it has piercing, right? So it would stop it wholesale. And then they would check my last security, but then I'd be able to go into Galactic again. Because they put me on 7, I'd be able to do it without passing turn. And while they potentially would be able to commit to the same thing, the big thing here is I'd very likely be able to be 21k. And if I commit to board while choking them, and also potentially killing this, well, I say choking, but like if I put them to like 4 or whatever, right? They won't be able to digivolve entirely up a line. They might want a hard play to commit, and if they do it again with Volcanus, I would be in a position that like as their swing is going through, I get to end of turn digivolve. And if I end of turn digivolve, I can add more sources and just straight up block them and shit, potentially. So yeah, I could choose the block like while the when the counter timing and stuff comes up. I'm probably forgetting the exact sequence, but before everything resolves, we hit end of turn timing, and then I get the digivolve, and yeah. But I made a mistake because I'm a clown. That would have been very funny though, because that wouldn't have done anything. With my board being empty, I was definitely on a Discord call. But yeah. Like I don't know. I feel like for the most part I played okay, but there like I do think I kind of mentally lapsed because I was focused on what I was being told as well because I was trying to assist a person with presentation thing that they're working on. But yeah, nah. This is just a dipshit ass mistake that I made because I looked straight at it. I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm good. Thinking they were swinging at me with something that was small because I didn't look back at my board first, which I could have very easily done. So, you know, onward. Oh, I also lose this game. So straight up, the Galactic Mirror, they're running. You know what? Valid. I didn't even realize they were running a POC. That like is fair. Some builds do that. Um, so they get to kill my Xeno really early here, as they should. But I also, committed a whole bunch of memory. But like you can see my hand. I kind of didn't really have a whole lot of leeway here. And I didn't even end up drawing another tamer. I think, or if I did, I opted not to commit it for some reason, which it would be on me. But yeah, I had another game from yesterday. I think I've deleted the footage just because the games felt really polarizing in a like not useful way. So I just didn't really do a lot. Yeah, okay, I probably should have just played the memory set of Zenith here because I ended up not having another like good opportunity to put it down, and popping the three didn't really do much of anything. But not having a Snatchmon, I do think just kind of didn't mean to do that. Not having a Snatchmon, I do think kind of put me into a hole because that was more concerning. I can't really commit anything here that's gonna meaningfully do shit. So, you know, I was like, fuck it, whatever. They Evo, they kill me, and they win game as we do. Sometimes you got it, and sometimes you don't, but they had it. Really, it was more I didn't have anything. Unfortunate. So we were 3-2. I don't remember what this game was. Oh, this was kind of funny actually. My opponent did something that I'm mildly confused about, and I don't really understand. I contemplated not putting that Vimon under, but I figured it was probably better macro scale. You do not know how bad I wish I could grab Zenith off of this card, dude. Bro. Can't be devolved, so I was fine with that. And then on deletion, it floats, which is also cool. I was surprised this lived. All right, I was kind of expecting them to DGO into Tamer, um, go X antibody and like force me to lose my body or something. Or maybe I'm misremembering what the X antibody effect is, but yeah, we do a little shenanigans here. I was not concerned about killing that guy whatsoever, so I wasn't gonna remove my own stuff for that. And then if they heal up, it's like fine. I was surprised they did this. The thing that's more surprising to me though is they don't do anything with the larva. right? So here I get to pitch, big tap. Got something to add. Got something to add. I was counting my total. Search first. Another Xeno. We add two. I use this, I believe, to go into, yeah. I resolve this first because I was trying to see if I could like just get extra sources for reducing the devolution cost when I go into this. But now we shove four. Play another one. Pop this. Don't have to deal with any annoying protections. But yeah, I thought at some point they could have just moved the larva out. Yeah. And I wasn't sure why they didn't do that. Because not only could they not Evo in the back, but it just dies. I don't have the ability to like unsuspend here. Now I do, technically. But it's fine. We just burn it down and play the card to pass turn just in case. So maybe they like I think the game froze a little bit there. So maybe they were like not necessarily used to it, but I don't really know. Very quickly we get into another game. Oh, this game is so good. Like not like literally good. Um, but I think it's a good example of Digimon being such a like high variance game. Um, they do something really wacky very quickly, which I think is just awesome because um I feel like a lot of the time you don't get to see this deck pop off or anything, and it really does here. They get that, they go into another one in hand, they play out yet another one, go into a third one, and then it spits out the four, and then that goes into the bird. The bird checks me for one. You move out. It's kind of helpful, you know? Slot one under. Get another copy of it. Shove two. I don't remember what I did here actually. Okay, so I did use the option. I shoved one under to get another reduction, and then we digivolve into the one that's in the trash. Digivolve that twice. Play out the Vemmon to hopefully add a card, shove something under this guy. I kind of didn't want to go into Galactic because I wouldn't be able to really do a whole lot here. Yeah, if you're playing Excel, you need to be comfortable with gambling sometimes because that's the only way you're gonna get like a meaningful board state. And they, I think, absolutely succeeded with the board state that they went for. And I was just saying that like I think if I saw an EX11 Galactic because I wasn't like thinking hard enough about it and I didn't grab it, I'm an idiot. And then they immediately hit one insecurity, which is kind of funny. We are the same size, and if we do battle, they die, or well, they would if I was unaffected. So I'm a little surprised they didn't hit me, but I guess they figured I was just bot deck. So I just in the attack force their other body to die, and I am still stuck suspended. I kill that because I don't want to let them partition, which is one thing I'm a little confused by. Like I was very surprised they played a body to pass turn instead of forcing me to hit their big dude. Um, but yeah, I end up in a really rough spot playing against them because I did not see uh my EX11 because like so the reason I wanted immunity not is it wasn't even to like try to like unsuspend or anything like that. I just wanted to sit for a turn without being affected, so it would like force them to potentially need to go into the promo to out me because it has lingering DP reduction. Um, because I kind of wanted to get rid of the stack and remake it, but yeah, can't remember if I made like a big mistake here or what. This was just like overall a really rough game. I think they might have had less in deck than me. It should make sense for them to have less in deck than me, actually. Genuinely, I don't remember what was happening. Yep. I thought about this, and I was like, suspending is probably a mistake, no? Because I'll still be stuck suspended on my turn. That's kind of the big thing. Like, genuinely, I was really enjoying this game. I was hoping so much that they would just go for the DP reduction one instead, and they kept going for this, which, like, makes sense. I don't blame them for going for this. I was just like, bruh. So we negate the attack. I didn't have the unsuspend inheritable, unfortunately, and I also didn't have a BT21. So I'm actually getting cooked by not having extra copies of BT21, but having all four of Unity 1. Yeah, play out my boy. And we re-end turn, so I just did this to draw a card. Bruh. I was trying to think about what I pitch here. And then we see it. I tap. See the other one. Shove under. So I think the angle here, I don't, it has 6 cards under it. I'm not sure if it has, yeah. So the angle here was just to devolve it again. I have no idea what I just typed there. I think I was just laughing about the fact that all 4 of them were lined up like that. Um, yeah, hella variance based game. Um, Play this out, pitch one. I don't even remember what the hell I recycled here. I think I definitely at some point should have tried to redirect them into me and just let the body die, because that's like a beneficial thing to do. But I don't know. I was focusing too heavily on the possibility of like being able to swing to put stuff back in my deck. I think. I think I didn't do anything with the attack here because I was gonna be resolving that. Maybe I just negated it like accidentally. Whatever. Doesn't I pop one? Start of my turn. How did I lose this? Like I'm entirely sure I did something to lose this. Did I just deck myself out? Maybe that was it. Yeah, because I think I might have said that at the start, right? That I just like miscounted or something. Yeah, that was it. I decked myself out. If I didn't do that, if I just played the option from my hand instead, I wouldn't have necessarily won, right? But the position I was in was like kind of avoidable, and I could have potentially allowed them to kill my body, which would have maybe been okay. Uh it really just depends on how they went at it. Because we could have put the recursion Vimon back in the deck and they could have been close to the top to the bottom, and then I could have just like counted to make sure that I was gonna see them. Yeah, I don't know. I'm cool. I'm cool with. First off, the game was good. It was very good showing of how variants can throw things off for like either person, right? And then on top of that, or and how much it's like important to gamble with Excel. Because I say this myself, but I also feel weird when I'm the one piloting and I'm gambling because people are just like, oh, no, you're a gambling addict. But yeah. Very much enjoyed that. Whoever you are, I hope you all also enjoyed the game as well. That was the good shit. So the idea, the idea I think was trying to check what like DP thresholds I was gonna be dealing with, and I remember that usually while the older can get bigger in a situation like this, it's very likely only gonna hit like 16 at max. So that would prevent it from really specifically being big enough to kill me in the event I end up suspended for some reason. Since the effect pop isn't gonna work. So yeah, just gotta think about stuff like that. Now this is they I think they get another tamer out. Yeah, this is crazy. So I also have a video I'm working on where let me not flashbang you guys. I have a video I'm working on where I kind of want to talk about the way support is handled in the game, and Red Hybrid is one thing I wanted to talk about because like I think that like it's not even necessarily a situation where Red Hybrid has like too many broken cards or anything like that. But Red Hybrid has consistently gotten cards that work under the same purview when you compare it to Yellow. I think Yellow is like fine as a deck, but Yellow doesn't have a Yellow Koji to fall back on. Yellow doesn't get to play out as many tamers for free. Yellow doesn't have a tamer that has end of turn, attack with an extra security attack, and then a level 5 that has rush. Right, you have to wait a little bit. You have to do things a little bit different, which I'm fine with. But um the light hybrid deck, Beowulf, Magnagru, and stuff definitely could have benefited from them just making a standalone Koji. Zoe being put in green, it's just like they could have done something where they give Zoe specifically run back cards along with JP and Koji since their colors changed. Koichi isn't that big of a deal because he has like a new wave of his purely like evil air quotes purple stuff, and then his previous purple stuff is purple yellow. So yeah. Um. But anyway, yeah, like it's just like I look at red hybrid and it's frustrating, not because I feel like the deck is like too much. I mean, I do think the deck is too much sometimes. It can blow you up in some crazy ass situations depending on what you're playing. Um, but the thing that I personally find the most frustrating when I look at red hybrid is just like, man, I wish the other hybrid colors were treated as well as this deck. Because even if they weren't like meta, right? I wouldn't care. It just would feel nice that they're kind of cohesive. And they are just in an unfortunate position. So we swing, and as long as they don't have a security effect that gets rid of my Vimmon, we are good. Yeah. This is a pretty decent open. I have no idea what deck I'm playing against here. I feel like it's Bears. Oh, it's not even. I really shouldn't have been in the VC while recording this because oh boy. I kept having these moments where I'm just like, oh my god, I didn't fully parse what my opponent did. That's not good. But yeah, I think Galactic is just one of the decks that stabilizes really well usually. Like you can get to a position where you curve out in such a way, like collectively over time, that you stabilize. And This is partially just because of the nature of how the deck is intended to be played, I guess, or the way it's designed, whatever. And decks that are maybe faster, like Red Hybrid, like I mean, now they have more consistency with all the draw effects they have. But in the past, this has been an issue that deck really struggled with because you weren't digging that far into your deck. So of course you weren't seeing the pieces that you wanted to see to be trying to rush, to try to consistently rush the opponent down. Fumbling over my words. Um, but I do think that Galactic is probably consistently just a tier 2 deck, right? Like even now with the changes to the format and Bears being a kind of annoying matchup, you don't auto lose that. It's really rough. Sometimes they will have like a particular open that just kills you, but the open that kills you would kill any other deck anyway, right? Getting hit with like a double Mars play where one of the Mars doesn't even need to like pass turn, or just like, oh god, dealing with Mars that doesn't pass turn is just like really egregious generally because it does battle twice because for some reason it has on play when attacking and when devolving. Uh so I mean even if it does pass turn, if you have the tamer that can force it to swing and you have Russian stuff like, you know, you can do a lot. But yeah, I think that Galactic is just like a baseline tier 2 deck, and it's probably gonna stay that way for an extended period of time. But it has the capability to play into most other strategies if you're a pretty decent pilot. Don't need to be super duper good, just like, reasonably aware. Um, but I do also want to acknowledge that there are certain game states you can get into that you can't win. So yeah, no, gotta be mindful of those. Like usually playing against Chimera, I mean not Chimera, Millennium is kind of easy because the thing with Millennium is you can just take most of the Digimon out of your trash and just like consistently put stuff back into the deck. Creepymon is a deck that is really variable because some people don't run as many of the seventh graviton in their list. Some people don't run it at all, and if they're not running it, um, you aren't running as much of a risk playing against that strategy. But if they are, you got to be a little careful. You got to be consistently putting things back whenever they're swinging at you, and sometimes just being okay with losing your body early. Because if those cards get back into their deck, you can maybe just do a little bit of something. It's also one of the decks that you can kind of chip somewhat safely, but it just depends. Be it. I think that I think Titans has the ability to play well against this deck, but it it needs to be running a lot of cards that I don't see them normally run. Stuff like the Kalamaramon. They don't necessarily need the Lanamon, but it could be cool because you have the decode either way. Um yeah, I don't know. Titan just has a bunch of like really nice tools that they could be running, and they're not uh that commonly seen. So figuring out, the better list to play into the format can be really rough. What was I doing here, bro? Oh, I was being a clown. I was hitting 10 to just not deal with this. And then what did I do? Right, do that for 6, you go back here, and then what? Did I just end my turn? Oh, that's a little funny. I'm not gonna unsuspend from this. Did I just leave that message there the whole time? Oh yeah, the redirect one lets you just put stuff from under either, which is one reason I kind of like having galactics next to each other. I was expecting them to hit me with this. Um, and there's a couple nice things about this. One, we get the end of turn Digivolve. You draw into another one. Wasn't really necessary, but We get to pop this, so the attack doesn't go through. Then they float into this, and just because, why not? Slurp up whatever, bro. Who cares? I don't even remember. Yeah, they played this. So we kill that. Um, do this first. And that's it. So the last game is against Alteress. I just want to. All right, yeah. So last one, really nice to know. Even without full review, 2 out of 3 of the losses were potentially avoidable. So this, this Alteress game, right? Things did not work out that well for either of us, and then I'm gonna say this straight up. Near the end of the game, um, DCGO just froze. I don't really know what happened. It was a bit unfortunate. I was fiddling there trying to think if I should put the Vimmon under the snatch or not. I think I opted not to. Yeah, I opted not to. And I ended up regretting that because I wanted to pop their tamer. Because that would have put me to the 4 cost threshold if I had slotted it under. So I was trying to figure out what to do here. End up going with Zenith. Pitch the unsuspender to try to avoid missing it this time. Bad enough I gave them memory with the boost, right? At least they whiffed Nokia. So I hatch, pitched that. Thankfully, we got, a good Evo target. Accidentally clicked attack, so I fixed that. We whiffed, but we did get a thing. I should have just put it under the Snatchmon, honestly. But I didn't want to give them a whole bunch of memory, was the problem. Okay, so we lost the body, and I don't remember what I did at that point, because I think I only had 5 in trash or something. Can't digivolve this directly. So I was like, fuck it. We'll just give them a bunch of memory. It is what it is. But we can resolve this, happen to hit 2. And I was trying to think about, like, what combination I wanted to do. The Greymon was too big for me to hit with something else. So we just get rid of the Tamer and the level 3. And yeah, this matchup is cursed for a lot of reasons. Oh boy. They unfortunately had to go red. I think I pitched that because I thought it was safer, but I was like, man, I would like to still have an option in hand just in case, which I think does come up. Yeah, both for the removal here and for something later, I think. Wait, I don't know what I wrote there. So they got to do the whole thing, right? But they had to pass turn for it, which kind of matters. So yeah, here I'm just saying that the general curve out should be in the Galactic player's favor, or I'm typing that. But sometimes whack stuff happens. End of turn. I think I made a mistake. Muted myself. I bought deck stuff for the sake of like just putting them in the bottom of the deck because this thing can't be redirected. I wasn't really concerned about that. They swung at me rather than raiding into the Galactic, which also made sense. I believe they must have checked my trash or at least been paying some kind of attention because they had the awareness that doing this while passing turn, I could have gotten bigger than them and that could have messed things up a little bit. And, they're preparing to heal and spit stuff out. So we know guaranteed if I hit their security, I'm gonna hit Omni. Here I just get the attempt to delete, but they have Digimon effect protection, so that's part of the reason why some stuff could have mattered. Um, I do this, I digivolve into this, nothing happens, right? I Xeno just because I'm trying to cycle a little bit. I swing, I'm gonna resolve both of these. That's what it was. This kills that. This kills that. So I wasn't gonna burn them, right? But I was gonna put the Ultra into trash, which does mean they have the ability to recover it. But the game genuinely froze at this point. Um, yeah, there's like 30 seconds left on the recording apparently, but as you can see, nothing is going on. No animations, nothing. So I'm not really sure what happened here because this doesn't sorry, this is not like an uncommon occurrence. We also did have games at the very start that like had some issues, so it could be caused by me having all of this stuff here. Who can say? All the sources. But the idea after deleting this for me was going to be simply either playing the 3-cost Vimon or um I'll just pause here. But yeah, so the idea for me was let me go forward a little bit. Yeah, it was gonna either be playing the 3-cost Vimon or tossing down my memory set or whatever, because either way it goes, I don't think they should have been able to do anything substantial enough to really threaten me. And we did have this to go into at the end of their turn to re-resolve one of these. So even if they put a body out, we wouldn't really have to deal with that. They could hard play this, but it would still die to the option, and I would just have to chip them slowly. But they are giving me a lot of memory, so I'm potentially put in a position where I can keep putting things back in my deck, as long as I get into the thing. And if I'm memory choking them while removing their bodies, then I am kind of in the advantage position from here on because they could never really substantially do everything they need to do. They need to commit Nokia, and even then they'd be potentially running the risk of me popping it, right? Which is one thing they'd be concerned about. um so not to say that they never could have won the game, because there's no guarantee I would be able to choke them in a specific way that matters every single turn, right? Especially not if they do establish a Nokia and I can't pop it. um but yeah, this was definitely not looking all that favored for them. But this one I just have marked as inconclusive. So 6 wins, 3 losses, 2 of them being avoidable, and then one inconclusive game that seemed kind of advantage. Is pretty solid in my book. I would like to play against more of the like Ultra S. I want to play this matchup more. I want to play the mirror more. I want to play into Bears more, especially because Bears is a polarizing matchup. Like I expect it to be like really rocky no matter what happens. It's just I'd like to be more used to it. Um Three Musketeers just is what it is, buddy. I can make them hit me though, which is kind of funny. And of course the deck is going to improve as we get the emblem in the next wave of tournament packs, so I'm looking forward to that. In any case, this has been me reviewing some of my Galactic gameplay. I will try to do more of this in the future. I hope you guys do find this interesting. And I'm going to keep this mostly on my secondary channel. If I do any like regular gameplay review, that like physical gameplay review, I'll probably put that on my main. But yeah, this is just practice for me. I am using lists based on cards I own and stuff like that. So, you know, y'all have fun out there. And hopefully I will actually be done with my write-up soon, because I keep taking breaks from finishing it. Sometimes to make videos. Yeah, later.